Hello there, Internet. It's Lincoln again, back for probably only my second version, or episode just sounds weird. But yeah, second episode of I Am Made of Robots. Pretty sure it's my second. I meant to do these constantly. This is the reason I started doing YouTube videos. I have this collection of Transformers and Megazords and all sorts of various transforming and cool robots that kind of just sit around, so I wanted to show everyone. And then I got busy with board games and everything else and kind of haven't been doing these. So I'm going to fix that today with one of my more recent acquisitions. I picked up Generations Waspinator finally. Waspinator, wow. If you're a fan of Beast Wars, like Beast Wars was on when I was younger, well, maybe more like high school, but I still watched it because it was a new Transformers show and it was kind of neat. And it actually, Beast Wars turned out to be a pretty damn good show. The animation is horrible by today's standards, but back then it was pretty amazing to see, and the characters are fantastic. Heck, the characters are... Beast Wars is the reason I started picking up toys again, or Transformers at least. Even though I was like 17, 18 when the shit came on. So yeah, it got me back into it. I remember picking up... Who was it? The 2-pack that was... No, it wasn't even a 2-pack. I just needed the rivals. It was Rampage and... Oh, I can't remember the Manta Ray's name. Everyone who's a fan of Beast Wars is yelling at their monitors now. I'm sure it'll show up in the comments and then I'll feel like an idiot. Depth Charge. Pretty sure Depth Charge is the name. Probably won't save being yelled at. Anyway, we're here to talk about Waspinator. Waspinator was such a great character. I actually have the original. I think he's upstairs in the attic somewhere. I love him. He's great. The original, at least, was actually pretty good toy. It was rather well done. It was that weird first run of Beast Wars toys where they came out kind of before the show, so they weren't sure what they were doing, and they all had a mutated beastie face and then like a standard robot face, and those were dropped out for the most part. Some of them got one, some of them got the other. Waspinator definitely got himself a wasp face in all subsequent releases. And Waspinator was kind of the whipping boy. Waspinator's been blown up so many times. Go to, you're on YouTube now, right? After you watch this, queue up a video of, there's got to be a couple compilation videos of Waspinator getting blown up and some of his great lines and stuff. He was a real fun character. He wasn't really... He was like an incompetent Starscream a little bit, I guess is a good way to put it. But anyway, enough about the character. Let's talk about this toy, Generations Starscream. Generations Waspinator. He is a pretty damn good wasp, I gotta say. I mean, the original was more like a bee. This has, he's got the body, looks more wasp-like. It's thinner with the big abdomen. Something about the angle that it sits at really helps it sell the wasp part of it. The eyes are still... Oh man, I think the originals were. I really should have brought him out of storage. It's really hard to see. No, I think they are all... Okay, the eyes are actually a solid color. I thought they might have had some airbrushing or something. But depending on... they actually fully detailed out. These are all the compound eyes are in there like that. They got a nice shiny metallic paint on them. These little guys, it wouldn't be Waspinator without these two little antennas hanging off his head and later his chest. We've got the predacon symbol hanging out here on the back. He has an action feature. Fun, but not that big a deal. And it's not really intrusive. It doesn't interfere with the toy at all, so that's not bad. It would be nice if you could lock it into place because, this will be up around his shoulder, like the back and shoulder areas. in robot mode. So these guys, you could have them come out as wings, but there's not really an option for that. Oh well. Now he looks pretty good. The bottom is pretty kibbly. Not too bad. Actually, it's not too bad. You can definitely tell that they're feet. I love the beast mode. I think it looks really great. I like the way the legs work out, like the way this little forms a nice kind of tripod almost. But man, you could tell it's just, they took the whole wasp idea and then they kind of just stuck the legs on the underside. Yeah, not that bad. And still, overall, that beast mode looks great. Before I transform him, he's from the Generations line, so you get a nice comic. Great full Waspinator art on it. Look at that. And it's I don't read the comics, so forgive me for screwing things up or getting something wrong, this and that. I'm just not sure. I don't know if this is what he looks like in IDW stuff nowadays all the time. I believe this is just part of a larger story arc. Absolutely nothing on the back. It's weird to see that in a comic. Actually, now that I think about it, it's weird to see a comic where there's no ads at all until the end. Well, they don't all throw them in the middle. But it's just weird to have the back not be anything at all. It's just this black. It's actually a really great little comic. It helped filled in some blanks for me on Waspinator. And it's a nice add-on. It's a nice pack-in. Advertisements in the back. And this is how you'll know you're picking them up, because you can see these guys, the Generations that come with the comics, all the covers are a more or less white background with the guy on front, the character on front. So you'll know, you could just see them if they're in the aisle. You just like, oh, there they are, good. That's what hit it for me. I'm like, oh, thank God. What do they have? They had Waspinator. Awesome. One of the ones I've been looking for. I have this thing for Transformers. I try and buy them from actual retail stores. I have no idea why. I think it's just part of my impatience. I want to go in, see something, grab it, pay for it, and then have it home. I'm very impatient, not good at all this waiting for things to arrive. I've got stuff from Japan that might not be here for like a month or so. It's killing me. Especially because it's back ordered. So, it's Transformer, right? Let's get Waspinator transformed. Alright. First thing you need to do is pull off his stinger. It doesn't pull out. This little section you can see comes up. It's a little tricky. I can never really grab it on the sides. It looks like it's got some tech detailing, or just some little detailing that looks like it might help you pull it out, but I've never been able to get it because it's this smooth section. So I always, and there it just falls out real easily. Because when you review something, everything you know about it, all of its properties change, and all of a sudden things that are difficult are hard. Easy things are things that are difficult are now really easy. Stuff that was no problem before is now tough. So I always just grab him by the little stinger and kind of wiggle it a little bit, because that post is in that hole. Takes a little thing, whoop, and there we go. It's a nice little gun for Starscream. I keep saying Starscream and I don't know why. Well, I kind of know why. I think a lot of you will know too. But yeah, it's not bad. It's not quite as cool. The old Starscream had his rear section popped out and it was actually like a missile firing guy. I don't miss that. This hole in the center kind of stinks. But maybe, someone with a 3D printer or something, maybe someone can just release a nice little, like, single little piece you stick in there, help fill the gun out more. But I like it overall. Looks good in his hands. We'll put that off to the side. Let's actually transform our Waspinator now. There's a good place to start. Let me get this position so it works for me and for you. I guess the first thing, well, the arms I guess is the first thing. These rotate on one big piece here, just attached in the forearm. I like to rotate them up because you're going to need to do it eventually, and it gets them up and out of the way. And the arms are, you can see they're pegged in here, and they're not really pegged in here, but there's a round protrusion on here, kind of like that kind of just sits into a little socket in here that helps just hold it all together. So I can just pull it off, no big deal. And there's the little socket I was talking about. And this big peg-looking thing, probably something like a peg, goes up into here. And that kind of holds it in place. It doesn't lock in at all. That holds it in place. And there's a tab right in there. And then there's a hinge here. Bloop. And that gets popped out. And then you've got his arms. You can do the rotating and lining them all up later. Pull the other arm out. Bloop. There's that. So that's his arms more or less done. Actually, that's a lot of Waspinator more or less done. There we go. Let's get a slightly better angle. So now, we'll pull the feet out. The feet, well, they weren't tabbed in too well there. Little hole there, tabs into these guys, right up in here, these two. So you just untab them from there. They're not too solidly in. They don't peg together themselves. What would be a good part to do next? Well, next we're going to flip this around. I like to put these back to get it out of the way a lot of the time. So it's down like this, pull it out like this. The first time or two, it felt really stiff, like it wasn't supposed to move. And he's packaged in robot mode, so I was trying to, and it just felt like it was stuck, but it's fine. It's just kind of a little rough. All right. Next, you see this green bit that his legs are attached to. This is a little weird. That's just pegged in back here. Not even pegged in. There's a little channel back here, I guess, and there's some little ridges that go into it. Take that. Basically, you can, I'd say pull the legs out, but there's, the way these are set up, you kind of can't just pull them straight. So you take this, rotate it around, and then it clips up into here. There's these little guys down here. These go on either side of the bottom of this. They don't lock into place. Oh no, son of a gun, they do. Oh no, they don't clip or lock. They're just nice and sturdy, which is nice. And now you can bring the legs down. Before, I was saying you really couldn't because you'd be trying to put them through these little nubbins here. There we go, that. Feet are real easy. You flip them forward and then you hold this down and fold the green bit back. You rotate these little legs on his legs up. They are, these on mine at least, are some stiff ball joints, so you want to grab them down here. You don't want to be moving it around by this, you might break it. So always try and get it by around the ball joint. I've got some paint scraping. I don't know if that's my fault or the way it came. It might be the way it came. Oh, now I look about it, there's some other little junk in there. I'm not one to nitpick. I don't really care too much. If it's not horrible, it's not going to bother me. So I'm going to get this other leg sorted out. There we go. Fold that back. And if you don't, it will just, oh no, it won't pull the other one along. Forgot. I'm used to things being a little off. Waspinator's a pretty nice toy. His legs I love because they have this, they were designed to look like the old legs, which is nice. Now, that's the legs done. Not too bad. The knees are weird and I don't quite like them. They always look a little off to me. I wish that these little toey bits could flip up a bit. Angle up, maybe help fill that in, but it still works and looks pretty good overall. We take this, let me show you. Take this, and you just fold it down and his head's just kind of tucked away inside there. So you fold it down, hold on, something's wrong. Hold on a second. Oh, nope, I'm just crazy. Completely forgot how the toy worked for a second. So he starts like this and folds out, and then that gets pushed back in, and that's kind of just where the head sits. This back here goes... This back here goes up into this channel. There is a little peg down here, which goes into this hole here. There we go, and more or less, this is Waspinator, but there's one nice little thing, that I like that they added to this toy. Gonna get everything set up, I'll put the wings back out. Take the shoulders and push them in. Did that work? There we go. I had a bad grip on him. It usually works very nicely. So the head splits open a little bit, and you've got this ridge going down his solar plexus, at the center of the rib cage. The wings are nice because they are just about as long as his feet, so they will help him stand. He's got good posability. He's got a ball joint there that's also on a swivel. Knees don't bend back too much. They bend forward a ridiculous amount. But they've been fine for everything I'm doing. Arms are pretty simple. It's just biceps on a ball joint. This is on a ball joint, or the forearms on a ball joint. That's all there is there. Hands rotate at the wrist. Head's on a ball joint. Goes all the way around. Does all its stuff. And I absolutely love this head. Like, just look at that. It's very... They did a good job of having the, like, real in-show version of him, but what I love is the eyes are done the exact same, they use the exact same, well, maybe not exact same, but the same kind of plastic for this ridiculous amount of light piping. That's half his head. I mean, I'm in a bright room, so you can't tell as much, but the light piping is so amazing on that. Apparently my flashlight's not where I left it, so I won't be just showing it. I was going to shine something, but I guess it's not going to happen. They did such a nice job. I don't know. It might not be coming through on camera, but like if you owned an original Waspinator figure and you saw the plastic they used for this light piping and the eyes, you'd be impressed. This toy was definitely done with love for the character. You could tell that the people, you know, whoever designed this and worked everything out, they really, really loved Waspinator. They love Waspinator fans and wanted to do a good job of it. Actually, you might be able to see the... no, it's not really coming through. Give me one quick second, and I will do a little pose for him. And you can see how I've got him posed on my shelf. And there we go. I have to physically move the camera. Got Waspinator just sitting on a shelf, posed like he is the king of the world. Bow down before me, for I am Waspinator. Man, and that little pose, it's not... Most of the time when you pose a figure, you try and make them look kind of cool or dramatic. They look like they're in the middle of attacking, or they're trying to pull off some sort of badass pose. No, Waspinator only looks right to me if he's screaming delusions of grandeur from atop something. He's great. I can't recommend this guy enough. I haven't picked up... This is actually, I think, the only Generations guys from this line I picked up. The other ones I never seem to show up in my Toys R Us. Or Target, or anywhere else, really. This is the first time I've seen any of the Generations guys actually in a store. And of all the guys they had there, this is the only one I absolutely had to have. So if you're on the fence, or you're just kind of a Waspinator fan, Beast Wars fan, definitely pick this guy up. He's awesome, he's a lot of fun, and he looks great. This is Lincoln. I'll talk to you guys next time.